Welcome back to another Purpose Served podcast episode. I'm your legendary host, as always, Darren Wingfield. Um, I recorded a podcast, I want to say 2 weeks ago. The audio and everything got pretty much messed up, so I just turned it into a bunch of clips. But for those of you that's new here, um, the vibe is pretty simple. The vibe is being the best version of yourself that you can be in whatever it is that you're doing. That's that's like the mission statement for Purpose Served. And today I'm going to be talking about people living a life that's not necessarily their own. So they get caught up in images. And I just recently, not too long ago, I had a conversation with my brother, also my mom, within like, I want to say the last 20 minutes. This has been a topic of conversation with people around me. I want to say for like the last like 2 or 3 weeks. So that's pretty much going to be the vibe and the topic today for this podcast episode. And for everybody that's been tuning in since the beginning, I really, really appreciate y'all. Everybody everywhere. Um, y'all don't go unnoticed. I really, really do appreciate it. Now, me being a person that I am, I'm gonna start this off. I'm gonna pop this off by reading the definition of purpose to you guys to set the tone, and reading the definition for service to really set the tone. So, the definition of purpose is the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. Service, the action of helping or doing work for someone. Last but not least, I'm going to read off the definition of goal, the result or achievement towards which effort is directed. Now, going based off of those three definitions, if purpose is the reason for doing something, right? And the goal is the results of doing something, how do you take the idea and turn it into results? You know, and structuring a goal, setting goals is important. It helps set the tone that you're making progress in something, whatever it is that you're doing. And another pivotal key thing to this is service, serving other people. You know, a lot of people, that's like not the vibe right now. A lot of people, or when you're talking about going to help somebody else or being service to somebody else, that's like ain't nobody trying to do that. You know what I mean? Everybody's looking at, yo, I need help. How can somebody help me instead of looking to help somebody else? You know what I'm saying? But we got to start reversing this cycle, any way, shape, and form. Um, Going back to the beginning of what I said, images. Um, the real versus the fake, reality versus the actual image itself. There's a lot of traps that we have out here, you know. One of them I got caught in, to be transparent with you guys, but also in spite of that, it helped me really find myself. And it's the game of basketball, something that I talk about all the time, and how much of a strong impact that basketball, the sport, had on my life in its totality. It completely changed my world, literally. The places I was able to see, the opportunities I was able to gather for myself, and everything. But this is why I'm saying it's a trap. Entertainment is a trap for most people, to be quite honest. Now, I don't mind entertainment. You know, I need music. You know, I need YouTube. I need movies and stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't get caught up in it. You know, a lot of people get caught up in it. A lot of people get caught up in other people's lives as if they know them, you know, who they follow, people following them back. They take that as, even if they never met the person, They treat this person as if they're real. And I'm not denying real life connections that people made, but I always talk about neglect. You know, people oftentimes neglect themselves. They don't show themselves respect. They don't show themselves love. They don't show themselves compassion, and people don't take themselves serious. And a lot to do with that has to be with images. I made a video 6 7 months ago, a little short video talking about the Republic. If y'all don't know about this, I'm about to tell a little story. This story is called The Allegory of the Cave. And this is written by Plato in the Republic. Now, pretty much the story goes like this. Socrates is talking to somebody else, and he's describing this cave, and people are in this cave, and they're chained to a wall, right? They're chained to a wall, and they're looking directly at a wall. And on this wall, they seeing birds, they seeing flowers, they seeing trees, they seeing all of these images. But these images are coming from in back of the wall that they're chained to, that they can't turn around and see. Only thing that they see is this wall right in front of them. It's people behind this wall that's controlling these images that they're looking at, all right? And also, what's lighting this whole wall up is the fire inside the cave that's making these images come to life, so they're able to see the shadow of these things. So imagine some puppeteer work. Somebody holding like a little fake bird and having it fly across the wall, and people are like, "Oh, look, that's a bird. Oh, look on the ground, it's flowers. Look on the ground, it's flowers," and it's people behind showing them this BS. You know what I'm saying? But not only are these people that's chained to this wall affected by the cave, but the people that's holding these images are also affected by the cave. They're also seeing the fake. They're not seeing the real. All right? So this fire that they got, that's allowing them to send out these projections, is not the real light. It's fake light, able to light the cave up, right? Then you got this one person that decides, guess what? I'm not going to be stuck on this wall no more. I got to find a way out of here. How do you find a way out of a place that you were born in? How do you get out of that cave? You know what I'm saying? And you're surrounded by nothing but images, everything fake. How do you get out? Dead serious. How do you get out of that? Where's the exit to the cave? So this person decides to break loose. He don't want to be in this cave no more. He's done. He's done. He had enough. Something's off. He don't know what's off, but he knows something is off. So he decides to leave. You know what I'm saying? So as he's leaving, he has to make an ascent up. Come to find out, he can see a little source of the light coming from out this cave on his way out the cave, right? So the first step was him being aware that he was shackled and that he can leave. Second, he was aware that he can leave. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, all right, where do I go from here? What's going on around me? So you're leaving this cave, you're surrounded by this fire, but mostly you're surrounded by darkness. And on your way up, it's people that's trying to leave too. But you also got people that's on their way back down. You know what I mean? So it's a tight, narrow space. And as people are going towards it, they're getting blinded. Why are they getting blinded? They're seeing real light for the first time. They was already blinded before from being in the darkness, but now this is a different sort of being blind. You know what I'm saying? Now you're blinded by the light instead of the darkness. Still the same thing. But that person that left on that wall, for some odd reason, He just got enough courage to keep going, in spite of him not knowing what's going on, in spite of him not knowing what he's seeing. Something in him is telling him to go on, and he's going on. Right on his way out this cave, he's stunned, literally, by what he see. He's seeing the trees for what it is. He's seeing the flowers for what they are. He's seeing water for what they are. The birds for what they are. But it hurts his eyes. It's cooking him. Because guess what? He found the real light. He found it. It was the sun cooking him. It's too much. It's too much. So what are you doing at? Now that you made it to this point, you see things for what they really, really are, and it's blinding you. Do you turn back around and go back in the cave because you had enough? Or do you sit here and figure out what you're looking at? All right, you sat there, figured out what you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? You can distinguish everything for what they are, right? You get excited. You get an epiphany. I got to tell everybody that they're looking at the false light. I got to go back inside the cave. I got to go back into the darkness. I got to make my descent back down and let the people know what I just found. Do you do that? Or do you tell the people, ultimately, y'all on your own? I'm going to just stay out here, you know what I mean, where I found my bliss, where I found reality for what it is. I'm going to just stay out here with it. So, going back to this allegory of the cave, he goes back. He decides he's going to make this descent back down into the cave of where he came from to give people the true light. So, on his way back down, he runs into trouble immediately. He notices that these people are very resistant to him coming back down with this information of the real light. Nobody believes him. They think he's crazy. He's talking a whole lot of BS, you know? And the more he goes down in his cave, the more difficult it gets to convince these people that they're not looking at the real thing. They're looking at fake images. And then it gets to the point for this person, it gets so crazy and it gets so bad that they get to the point where, all right, you're a little too crazy. We might have to kill you. These people get ostracized. These people get left astray. And in real life, outside the allegory of the cave, this shit really happens. That's reality. That's not an image. It happened to Socrates. My boy got poisoned to death because they felt as though he was brainwashing the next generation. You out here talking crazy to these people and they're believing in you. Martin Luther King. Detroit Red. Oh, Malcolm X. Whoa. JFK. Whoa. What is going on? Dr. Sebi? What is really going on out here? You know what I'm saying? You guys got to do your due diligence. And I talk about this all the time. What are we really looking at? If you're listening to this, you know, that's letting me know you're a human being. I don't mean to be sarcastic, but it's about to go towards that end, to be quite honest. But you're a human being, right? You're not a dog. You're not a bug. You're not a grizzly bear listening to us. You're a human being. You're in the process of being as a human. You're still unfolding. But the reality of the situation is a lot of things we don't have to think that hard to do. Why do we still do it anyway? A lot of things is self-evident, but we still need the suggestions. We still need people to push us instead of just doing it because it's your reason for being as a human being. I put an emphasis on all of this stuff. I would want to say every single episode, including guests that's been on this podcast, how serious it is for you to serve your purpose. And it's possible. You may think you don't got it all figured out. You may think that you don't have all the resources you need. You're not in a place that you want to be. It's not ideal. Images. You've been already blessed by the divine. And at this point, if you came across this information and you're hearing this right now, we're synchronized. We here with it. You're hearing this for a reason. That means that you have a purpose to serve. In your life, that's another thing I talk about on here. It gets real. You're going to die at some given point. That's what makes people so antsy to do all of these things. They don't really know why, but they really kind of do. They don't want to think about it. It's because they know they're not going to live forever. They don't have all day. This is the stuff that is serious, man. I'm not even going to lie. It's serious. So when people go off chasing these things that aren't real, these images, being a celebrity. What is being a celebrity? You want to be famous? You want everybody to know you? Know you for what? Some movies that you played in? Okay. Listen, I'm not knocking anybody in the entertainment business that want to do that. I think that all in all, people that's doing work of the creatives, that's so freaking important. If you're an artist, if you're an athlete, if you are in the entertainment business, that's so important. But don't forget the essence of why you're doing that thing. You're not doing it just to do it. And in situations like that, the influence and impact is a serious, serious deal. And a lot of people with these big platforms and social media followers and stuff like that, there's only a select few that's really taking it serious. For God is somebody to really get them to know themselves and not follow them in idol worship. A lot of things that I picked up in regards to basketball, God bless his soul, came from Kobe Bryant. But after a while, I stopped getting caught up in him as a person, and I got caught up in what he was doing as a basketball player. And I started doing the same thing. Just applying the same thing. The methods. How did he watch film? How did he go about practicing? What was he looking at on the court? This stuff is important. That was important to me, to my development as a person. I took that and I absorbed it for my own thing and made it my own thing. Kobe Bryant's Kobe Bryant. Darryl Wingfield is Darryl Wingfield. There's only one of me. I'm a junior though. Shout out to my pops. Love him to death. But ain't nobody gonna come after me. October 27th, 1994, in Newark, New Jersey, there wasn't two people born in the same spot at the same time. There was only one. Same thing goes for you too. Ain't nobody like you is going to come after you, and ain't nobody like you came before you. You're unique automatically. And I'm not just saying that to gas you up. This is real talk. This is real. Everything I'm saying is coming from the heart right now. We're lost out here. How do we find our way? How do we not get sucked into all the chaos? End up losing ourselves, dissolving ourselves in the masses, That's what's going on. We're all in the melting pot getting cooked up. Find your purpose and serve it. Try to find people to help. The service part. Look to help others. That's so important right now. Due to the fact of, like I said, the allegory of the cave is real. It's an allegory. It's a story for some real ish. Look that story up if you don't believe me. You know what I mean? In fact, I'm going to put a description or a link to get to the Republic right down below. But going to goals. This is going to help you live out this purpose, live out this reason for your being, for you being here. Attach your purpose to goals. If you don't have a purpose, your livelihood goes away. Your reason for living and wanting to be alive disappears. And this is what I'm saying, how we overthink things. Of always wanting to be something. I want to be a CEO. I want to be a boss, son. I want a mansion with like 10 cars, 5 bad biddies. That's yeah. Y'all know these people. I ain't trying to do nothing. I'm trying to chill for the rest of I'm trying to get rich, go on the island. I ain't trying to do nothing. That ain't realistic. Even the people at the top is still working. But you have to attach these things to a purpose. And going back to how simple that is. I have a lot of reasons for the way I do things and what I create, in a sense. All in all, my family, I'm a brother, I'm a son. You know what I mean? I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest out of 7 collectively. 4 brothers, 2 sisters. I'm the oldest. That's one of those little things that gives me purpose. Nothing too crazy, but that gives me purpose. You know? Being a good role model to my brothers and sisters, even in spite, at a certain point, I wasn't that. I had my little brother remind me what my purpose is when I was falling off that path. We got into an actual fight because he was done, bruh, and telling me about myself. And I thought it was funny. I laughed at him. And he was being serious. It aligned me back with my purpose. But for y'all, I know it's not easy. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, right? If you watch the previous podcast episodes, I talk about 3 things. I call these the forces of fate. Your vision, your journey, and your destination. Those are the forces of fate, right? I talked about how your vision is a representation of all the things deep down within yourself that you want to do, who you see yourself as. You know, that's deep down. That's what all of us as human beings, we share collectively. We all have a vision, whether it's good or bad. The truth within that good or bad, we all share a vision. Also, another force of fate is the journey. We're going to get to that. If you guys want to check out, like, for the Roadmap podcast episode, I talk on that in great detail. If y'all want to hear more about that and the 3 forces of fate. But you also have the destination, right? I got this paper in front of me, right? And the destination is found outside oneself and through the vision and journey. You find yourself at the destination, right? The vision stems from deep within the mind and hearts, like I said, of all individuals, no exception. And a journey is synonymous with you simply becoming. So, what do I mean by that? These three forces of fate: you becoming, the journey. The vision was here already, high key, before you even sprung into being. The destination was already there too, whether you was there or not. The journey, though, very important. That's your life. That's your path. Even when you get to the destination, your journey still is going to be going on. No matter what. These things is inseparable for all of us. I even broke it down to those of you that got jobs or going to school or any of that. Those three forces of fate are involved in that. It takes a mental aspect, mental capacity for you to be like, oh man, I know I got work first thing in the morning. You don't even probably have to think about it. You already cooked up a plan to get there and go to that destination, work itself. The journey is from you leaving your house and getting to that establishment. An establishment is the destination. It's not the vision. It's not the journey. It's the destination. The vision is not the journey. It's not the destination. It's just the vision, the idea. Deep down inside your soul, your mind, it's resonating real strong. A lot of us don't have the courage and ability to live this out, but you've been blessed with it for a reason. It's your purpose. Don't shy away from it. Don't be one of those people in the cave that I was just talking about. And I'm being so serious right now, man. It's This world is getting crazy. People are losing themselves every single day and getting caught up in so many situations that they don't got no business being in. That's causing them to die and lose their life, and they ain't gonna get no redo. Sitting in that courtroom and hearing 20, 25 years because you chasing an image. Don't be one of those people. And if you are rolling with that crowd, really think about what you're getting yourself into. That's how fast everything go. I got a baby picture on my phone from when I was like 3 or 4 months old. I constantly look at it all the time. And it's like, wow, that was once me. I'm no longer that. I didn't even have to think about being this. And I'm not talking about the accolades, basketball. I'm just talking about growing up, getting facial hair, growing my hair, built in me already. From that picture from when I was a couple months old, there was something in my core that already had my development and my DNA synced in to its core. Come to an understanding and knowing within yourself, not a belief, but a knowing. Come to that. The quicker you do, the quicker you can live out these dreams, these ideas, these aspirations. It's possible. I'm not saying anything that you're trying to do is impossible, but you got to be that thing. That's the reality. You can't be the image of that thing. You got to really be that thing. Everything that I told you guys that I picked up from Kobe Bryant, I was being that thing. I wasn't trying to be an image of that thing. Through that, I realized that, wow, I'm far from where I wanted to be. And that made me work really hard at those things that I picked up. Becoming human being. I hope this is not going over any of y'all heads, to be quite honest. Probably is. This is probably the first time you're hearing something like this. You heard it here first then. But Yeah, that's that right there. Those three forces of fate, living out your purpose, and the most important thing, the service of other people. I'm doing this for myself to a certain extent, but I have to in order to present this to y'all. But you, y'all, all y'all that's listening, been listening and watching it, I got here because of y'all. Y'all helping me serve my purpose in a way directly, you know? And I'm grateful for that. I'm truly, truly, truly grateful for that in every sense. It's been a hiatus as of late. Um, it's been a lot going on. Um, I still got these workshops getting cooked up and everything. I'm about to start doing courses, but the one thing in this description below that I want you guys to download and have access to is the purpose served planners. Please use these. They're going to help you set goals. They're going to help you implement putting your ideas, your dreams into something practical, practical things for whatever it is you're trying to do. Please, if you're looking to work on your consistency, if you're looking to be more self disciplined, if you want to know what it feels like to make progress in something, download the planners, daily planners, weekly planners, monthly planners. So then that way you don't have no real excuse on why you're not serving your purpose. You see it firsthand, you know? And you have the tools to create it surrounding your specific purpose. I can't tell you what your purpose is. I can help guide you, but I can't tell you what that purpose for yourself is. That's the reality of it. You're going to have to live it, which is going to take constant action, learning simultaneously. That's the process of becoming. That's the process of a human being. That's what the fabric of what we're made of. Everything is unfolding right before our eyes. We're watching reality do that. Don't watch it and fall into the trap of the fake light. And this is the picture that I'm talking about. That's little old me, a couple months years old. I ain't light skinned no more. But yeah, like please download that. You know, because a lot of people like, how do I accomplish my goals? How do I go about doing these things? And then a lot of things are fundamental when you look at it at its most basic level. And when I'm teaching the game of basketball, to people, that's where I start off with. You know, because a lot of people they come to me and they want to do the things that they see me doing, the image. But I tell them, I didn't start off just doing this. It took building blocks. It took me working ridiculously hard for 14 years for me to get to this point. You know? Um, so yeah, y'all are capable of that too. Ain't no doubt in my mind. Absolutely none. I talk with such a strong conviction because I know what people are capable of. I see it all the time. Even throughout history, the people that I read about did great things and also was willing to sacrifice every single thing for it, even their lives. Quick story before I wrap this podcast episode up. Going back on one of those names that I mentioned earlier in the Socrates, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, JFK, we're going to focus on Malcolm X, right? After Malcolm X came back from Mecca, his eyes opened up about what he was dealing with in the spirit of the times of what was going on during the whole segregation movement, what was going on in house and everything. the government, his you know, the Nation of Islam, pretty much both on his head. I think this was a Sunday, right? He was already speaking out about everything, and this dude was very, very paranoid. He would have to check all the lamps, all the drawers before he would sit down in a room because he thought it was wiretaps in there. Always looking out the window. Who wants to live like that? But he knew he was serving a higher calling, so it was what it was. You know? This dude had a strong premonition of the other side, if y'all know what I mean. He had a strong premonition at a young age of the other side. It was a Sunday, I can't remember the date, or it was a Saturday, or whatever. But his house, while he was sleeping, they ended up bombing his house. Lit that whole thing on fire while his family, his daughters, his wife was in the house. They knew he was in there sleeping. And while he was sleeping, they threw cocktails, Mazel in his window. I probably said that word wrong too. Molotovs? Yeah. But he spoke out about that. Still fearless. 1 week after that happened, they killed him. He was speaking, and about 4 dudes, handguns, shotties and all, filled his whole body up with lead. Shot him all up in front of his daughters and his wife. In front of people. Allegory of the cave. That's probably discouraging y'all from finding y'all purpose. But when you truly, truly know and discover it's always been there, it is waiting on your attention, it's waiting on your awareness. It's nothing you can do about it. No matter when you know what the consequences of the other side, you're going to do it. You're going to follow it wholeheartedly. You know? That right there is an extreme example of the ultimate sacrifice of living out your purpose, living out your reality. Not looking at it through images, but really living your life as a human being. And ultimately, he was in the service of other people. He wasn't doing that for himself. So he already gave his life up for the cause. This is how deep this stuff get. People live like this. It's not a joke. You can have these moments, you know what I mean, where you don't have to take life as serious as what I'm saying, but it's going to come a point where you're going to have to. The window closes, get closer and closer to closing every single day. That drop-off point that I talk about of the inevitable is coming for us all. Contribute to life while you're here, while you're living. Contribute to life to make it keep going forward instead of killing it, destroying it. Build. Serve your purpose. That's the end of the podcast episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like, seriously, yet again, I really, really, really appreciate it. I will be. I make a lot of promises. I do. Please don't be mad at me. But I have to start delivering weekly podcast episodes for you guys, and also there will be more, purpose-driven, self-improvement, personal development content coming out, going forward. Follow on Instagram, at purpose_serve.com. .com. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. I'm gonna put everything in the description below to follow me at. Download the podcast. Please share the podcast. If you found this helpful, and share it to somebody that it can possibly be helpful for them too, who need these words of encouragement, the seriousness, you know, and encourage them to keep going and let them know that they can do it, you know. And don't forget what I said to pop this whole thing off. Show yourself some love, some compassion, discipline, empathy. Show it towards yourself. That's going to help you show it towards other people. You know? All right. That's the end of it, man. Serve your purpose. Treat the purpose as if it's the goal and take action towards it. That's the service part. I love y'all and I'm out. Last but not least, deuce.